Hey VC, how we doing? In this video, this is kind of like a response video to Vance's video. His YouTube name is Zep Pearl. Today he uploaded a video showing his VHS collection of rock videos and concert videos, and that was speaking my language right there. Back in the day, I had quite a VHS collection, so I'm vibing with Vance here, and wanted to follow his lead, just show some videotapes. So here we go. We're gonna show some videotapes, and this isn't all of them either. This is just the videotapes I kept in the music room. I got even more in storage. I didn't feel like going through all that. There's a lot of boxes and boxes on top of boxes, but so this is just what I keep in the music room. We're gonna start off with a local a concert that was shot pretty close to where I live in San Francisco. Joe Satriani, live from San Francisco at the famous Fillmore Auditorium. Joe Satriani. In this videotape, he has the great Stu Hamm playing bass in his band. Unfortunately, I didn't go to this show. I remember it being advertised though, and I didn't get to go, and I didn't know they were filming a video there, so you can imagine how pissed off I was when I bought this VHS. I eventually bought this on DVD, as a lot of these, but this was a killer concert. It looked like a great show, and I always see great shows at the Fillmore in San Francisco, and this looked badass. Next up, from Pink Floyd, Pulse. For a long time, this was one of my favorite in-concert videos on VHS. I think I had just bought a stereo VCR and hooked it up to my stereo and just started cranking the hell out of these concert videos. And man, this was just a great video to hear in stereo. It was a great stereo mix on this as well. Eventually went out and bought the CD, and then eventually it came out on DVD. So this was one of my favorites for a long time. Sting, the Soul Cages concert. This is a really good concert as well, very enjoyable. Obviously, when the Soul Cages album came out, I eventually had to download this illegally on DVD for the internet, because it was never officially released on DVD that I know of. And then I, of course, made CDs out of that. But this is an awesome videotape, if you're a Sting fan. Peter Gabriel, Secret World Live. Another great concert. Great stage performance, as far as how the stage design with rear projection as well. A long catwalk for Peter Gabriel can sing in the center of the auditorium. This was just a great visual show, as a lot of his in-concert DVDs are. And Peter Gabriel is one of my favorite artists to collect on in-concert videos. He makes a lot of interesting videos as far as live performance, so really cool. This is a great, this is also out on DVD. Haven't bought it yet on DVD, but I should. This is a great show. The Who Live, featuring the rock opera Tommy. This came out in 1989, I believe. And in this show, they have a lot of great guest stars on here. Sorry, it's a little dusty on here. Like Billy Idol, Patti LaBelle, Phil Collins, Elton John, Steve Winwood. It was, as you could see in that picture, great concert. Of course, they do the rock opera Tommy in the first half of this video, and the second half is just a bunch of Who classics by the Who and the band. Real big band on this one. I mean, it had a brass section, a drummer, a percussionist, keyboards, Pete Townsend playing the guitar, another rhythm guitarist backing him up. They had quite a big band during this tour, but it's a real enjoyable video to watch. I don't really remember. I think that one is out on DVD now. I just haven't got it. Another concert that was filmed in San Francisco, the one I remember I wanted to go to, and at the time in my life I had some things going on, couldn't go, and didn't know it was going to be filmed for a video eventually, and kicking myself. But it's Mr. Big Live from 1990. During this tour, they had their second album, which was Lean Into It. This concert was filmed at the Warfield Theater, another great place to see concerts when you're in San Francisco. So yeah, it was for their second album, Lean Into It. And I think the week that the song To Be With You went #1 in the charts is when this concert took place. And so there's a live version of that song on there, obviously being their big song. Loved Mr. Big during this era of their first 2 albums. I kind of lost touch. I kind of lost interest with them after when their third album and Beyond came out. But they are a fun live band to see, and this is a great concert video. Unfortunately, that never made DVD. All right, next stack here is just all Genesis in concert videos. Some really awesome ones at that. Like this one. This is one Vance showed on his video. It's Genesis 3 Sides Live. This was filmed during the Abacab tour. And Vance actually showed 2 copies of this. One with the old school white cover with just a photo at the bottom, and then he showed this one, which is the more, I don't want to say recent, but you know, for this video, the most recent before it got transferred to DVD and was released on the Genesis movie box set, which I also have as well. So, but pretty interesting video. Not my best, not my favorite from Genesis, but not bad either. Let me go in order which the tours here. Next up is Genesis The Mama Tour. This was a great video. I remember I saw this. MTV actually aired this whole thing during a TV broadcast, and that was my first sight of seeing Genesis live, just before I saw them in concert during the Invisible Touch tour. And this looked like an awesome show with they had the fairy lights, and there's the video, and just pops up like this. Yeah, so this was my first time seeing Genesis live, and really made me want to see them in concert. I'd had to wait a year, and the Invisible Touch tour came to my town in Oakland, California, and got to see them. And this will always be my favorite Genesis in concert video, even though it's probably not their strongest. To me, it was great. Once again, this one got transferred to DVD in the Genesis Live box set, movie box, and so now I have the VHS copy and the DVD copy of it. And it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. And like I said, the tour after that would be Invisible Touch, and I have the official video to go with that. It's Genesis Invisible Touch Tour Live with the domino cover. This was shot at Wembley Stadium in July of 1987. 2 or 3 sold out nights at Wembley Stadium. Great show. This is when Genesis was at their biggest. Their absolute biggest, and they were just gods back then, as far as music video and hit singles. So they were just unstoppable at this point. And the last of the Genesis home videos is Genesis The Way We Walk Live. This would be the last tour Phil Collins would do before officially leaving the band. And this was in support of the album We Can't Dance, which was the last studio album to feature Phil Collins in the band. And I actually saw this show when it came to Sacramento, California. Saw it in the Sac State football arena. And they had that whole arena filled, plus the field filled with fans. And what a great show that was. And the last of Genesis documentary, Genesis, A History of Genesis. This is a BBC documentary that came out in 1990. Really, really cool stuff there. Well, let's change it to Phil Collins. Tons of Phil Collins video cassettes. Like his very first tour, Phil Collins live at Perkins Palace. I believe the tour was in 1982, 83. And I scored this in the late 80s. And I've never seen this on video ever since. And it's in this, what Vance was calling a clam case, I guess. This old school 80s VHS cases. A great concert. Features the live versions of I Don't Care Anymore and In the Air Tonight, The West Side, I Missed Again. Good stuff. And then the concert tour I saw him on in person in Sacramento was the the No Jacket Required tour. This video came out after that tour had finished. Phil Collins' No Ticket Required. This was filmed live in Dallas, 1985. And of course it has the studio. What else is there? Don't Lose My, not Don't Lose My, Who Said I Would, In the Air Tonight, One More Night, Against All Odds, and all those other hits. This is a fantastic video. It was first aired on HBO back in late '85, and I remember in my area when HBO premiered it, one of our local radio stations did the stereo broadcast of it, just the audio of it only on the radio station. So that was great. That was great. So I got to watch it on television, listen to it on the radio. The 80s were fun for radio concerts, radio broadcasts, concert broadcasts. Oh, they were great. And I wish this would be released on DVD. This would be awesome. Then the tour to follow that would be But Seriously. And we have this one, Phil Collins Seriously Live. I believe this one was in 1989, 1990, I believe. This was filmed in Berlin. And this is just jam-packed with hits. Super long video. Impossible to watch in one sitting. You have to do it in a couple of days, but a great show nonetheless. And then we have Phil Collins Live and Loose in Paris. This was for the Dance in the Light tour, early 90s. I really didn't care for that album, though the tour video was actually pretty good, so there we go. The last Phil Collins one is a documentary during the rehearsal of one of his tours for the Both Sides tour in 1994. So Phil Collins Live, Both Sides 1994. This is just a documentary video of how his band rehearses for the tour. So we see the behind the scenes of him teaching the band his songs and getting a live set together, getting a stage and lighting design together. Pretty interesting. Alright, so that's it for the Phil Collins portion. And then of course, I'm a big Rush fan. I bought this video back in 1990 or 89, I believe. And it's Rush, A Show of Hands. This was my first look at Rush live, and I was hooked right after that. It's amazing how long this videotape has lasted. This came out on DVD as well, and I have it now on DVD. This videotape has not seen the light of day in years since I have it on DVD now, but this is a spectacular live video, and the sound mix is really good on this too. And another one from Rush. This is Rush Live, the Grace Under Pressure tour from 1984, I believe. So, from the Grace Under Pressure album. This was also recently, well, not recently, but a few years back, they put it on DVD and CD as well. And I have that collection, so. But this was what was great about this one is it had the whole not the whole concert, but highlights from the concert from the Grace Under Pressure tour, and at the end of it, the Big Money video from the album Power Windows. So at the end of the concert, you can see the video for Big Money on this video cassette. Really cool. The last of the official videotapes is the documentary Classic Albums, Fleetwood Mac, The Making of Rumors. Love that album, and it was interesting to see the hell that these guys, the band went through just to make this album. It looked rough, so they get major kudos in my book, just keeping it together enough to release a great album. So, and they go over how the songs were written, but more or less just the emotional torture they were all going through during the making and recording of this album. Very good documentary, one of my favorites from the Classic Album series. Alright, so that's it for official buys. I'm a big fan of bootlegs, and back in the day, VHS bootlegs were my favorite to buy. So we'll start I'll show you some of these from Van Halen. This is Van Halen live at the US Festival 1983, the entire show. And I can't say it was Van Halen's best performance because David Lee Roth was drunk off his ass, as well as the rest of the band. It sounded like it. It was a plain tape, so I slapped these labels on it, these homemade labels with my chicken scratch handwriting, just to make it look as official as possible. But besides being drunk as hell, it was still a good concert by Van Halen. They weren't their sharpest, but it was still fun to watch. I'm a big fan of train wrecks. And from the Hagar era of the band, this is called Van Halen 5150. From Tokyo, Japan during the OU812 tour. And the date on here is May 23rd, 1990. This is a really good concert video, professionally shot, because I think it was a pay-per-view special in Japan, and someone just transferred it to video. And it's just a plain tape. I didn't put a label on this one. Great bootleg because, like I said, it's professionally shot with multiple cameras. Audio is really good too, so this is a really good bootleg. Of course, all this is on YouTube now. From the band Queensryche, we have Empire Live, and this is from Michigan, October 10th, 1991. And this is when they did songs off the Empire album, some of their classic songs, and then they did Operation Mindcrime in its entirety. Eventually that would come on DVD as well. It'd be officially released, but it's always nice to have the bootleg and have the whole show from that, so, and plus the encore as well. So really, really cool bootleg from Queensryche. Let me see if this had a label on. No, I had my generic handwritten label. Also from Queensryche, Queensryche live at the Global Theater, Middletown, New York, July 25th, 1995. So the album they're promoting here, and I keep forgetting the name of that album, Promised Land. Promised Land was the name of the album they were promoting here. This was a very interesting show. It started off as your typical Queensryche show until they do the new songs off of Promised Land, and the stage setting they had was more theatric, like you're watching a play. At one point, they simulated a bar, a little after-hours bar, and Queensryche was just jammed on a tiny stage, and they looked like the house band. And of course, you have Jeff Tate doing the vocals while sitting, at one of the tables. And you got a bar set up, people drinking at the bar, a few people dancing. It was very interesting how they did it. So this is a cool video. All right, I got bootlegs from the band Dream Theater. Dream Theater live in New York, and this was on April 4th, 1998, during the Falling Into Infinity tour. I caught one of the shows off of this tour in San Francisco. It was my first time seeing Dream Theater live in person, and this was a bootleg from that show. Fantastic show. Opens with Change of Seasons, Innocence, Just Let Me Breathe, Burning My Soul. They do a really cool classic rock jam where they're just an instrumental jam. They do YYZ, Hot for Teacher. I think they do this song here, Run of the Hills. Just cool fucking concert. Back in the good old days when Portman was still in the band, so this is a really good bootleg. And another one from Dream Theater. This is called Dream Theater Live in Concert, Metropolis 2, Scenes from a Memory. This was from Seoul, Korea, May 6, 2000. And this is basically the whole not images and words, but Scenes from a Memory album done live in its entirety. And then some classic songs like Puppies on Acid, Change of Seasons, Just Let Me Breathe, Pull Me Under, Under Glass Moon, Fortunate Lies, Take the Time. Really, that makes up their encore. This was also professionally shot. I think this was a pay-per-view TV special from Korea. Someone just transferred it to videotape, and so we got multiple camera views and pro audio on it. Really, really excellent bootleg. You can download this now on the internet. I think they might officially release it in their bootleg series DVDs, but excellent bootleg. And 2 bootlegs from Rush, and we'll call it a day. I love doing this stuff. Rush Counterparts Tour, 1994, at Auburn Hills, Michigan, March 22nd, 1994. Obviously, Counterparts was the tour here. And there's a picture of the band there. Really good set. Well, that's the entire show on here. What I love about this bootleg, this is back when they had the big giant inflatable bunnies on the tour during the middle of the concert. So they had these two little magic hats, and the bunnies would pop out of the magic hats, and they would be really tall. They go all the way to the lights. So you have one good bunny, one evil bunny with a derby and a shotgun. He shoots the other bunny, and in the background they have a video screen. You see this cartoon bullet going zigzagging all over the place, so it finally kills the bunny, and of course the bunny deflates. And then on the screen you see his soul going to heaven and being escorted by a couple of angels. really weird stuff, but a great show. Like I said, the whole show. This was also professionally shot, pro audio. This was supposed to be a DVD release, and the band wasn't happy with the footage and never released it. Eventually, the drum solo on here made on one of Neil Peart's instructional videos. But the whole concert was never officially released, so I have it on this bootleg, VHS bootleg. Eventually found it on the internet and downloaded it on DVD. But this is another excellent bootleg. And the last one is a Rush Test for Echo in San Jose, California, November 20th, 1996. Just the day after I saw the band perform this very show in Sacramento. And this was the show afterwards. And Test for Echo was an excellent concert. Not only did they do classic songs plus songs from that album, they redid all of side 1 of 2112. And so they did the whole side 1 of 2112 live. It was spectacular. Unfortunately, this was not professionally shot. This is audience shot. But for audience shot, it's not bad. The audio is pretty good. I enjoyed this to death. And this is one I've never found on DVD. I do search these things on the internet and see if I could find this on DVD. No one's ever uploaded this as a torrent. So unfortunately, this is the only copy I have of it. It's been a while since I've seen it. Might pop open some cold ones and watch this and a few others. Well, that's all the video I have. Once again, another long ass video from Gil, but this was fun. Anyway, big props to Vance for this was his idea originally, and a good one too. So hope everyone's doing well. See ya, folks.